to everybody for coming out. I want to just talk briefly about the history and about how we got to the point in this country where a corporation has the same legal status as a natural person. When this country was founded, the people of the colonial states were very anti-corporation. And they had been under British rules, British corporations, but the colonies themselves had been set up as corporations with governors actually appointed by the King of England. So very few corporations survived the revolution, and those that did were mainly educational nonprofit institutions. Well, in the later 1700s, the states began to charter corporations in order to finance public needs such as roads and libraries, schools, bridges, that kind of thing. But these charters were granted only after much debate, and they were revocable charters, and they had a specified number of years. And they were actually, the corporations were forbidden by law to attempt to influence elections or public policy. They were required to obey all laws and cause no harm. And they were set up to serve the public good. So, but as the country was expanding and needs increased, corporations gradually got more powerful. In 1819, there was a landmark decision, the Court of Dartmouth versus Woodward, where the Supreme Court ruled that corporations have the same rights as natural persons to make and enforce contracts. Well, this outraged the people of the colonial states, and they began passing laws and inserting clauses into corporate charters to restrict corporate power. But as I said, the country was expanding, and so the newer states to the west in many cases were opening up and easing restrictions on corporations. So by the end of the Civil War, corporations, especially the railroads, had become quite powerful. Well, the 14th Amendment was written to ensure rights to the freed slaves and their descendants, and it was ratified in 1868, and it declared, all persons born or naturalized in the United States are U.S. citizens, and no state shall abridge their privileges or immunities. Well, the railroads decided to push the courts to say this applied to corporations as well, because they referred back to Dartmouth versus Woodward, saying that corporations have the rights of natural persons.
Then they can't be owned.
Yeah, well, we'll go. We won't go into that because I've only got 3 minutes here to finish this. So that brings us to 1886 at this very courthouse, the case of Santa Clara County versus Southern Pacific Railroad. And the lawyers, because the question had still not been decided, the lawyers were still pushing the courts to declare corporate personhood under the 14th Amendment. Well, the court avoided the question, and they decided the case on other grounds. But Justice Morrison Waite, in a pretrial statement, said the court does not wish to hear argument whether the provision of the 14th Amendment applies to corporations because, quote, we're all of the opinion that it does. Now, the court reporter happened to be a former New York Railroad president, and he wrote this statement into the official transcript. So it actually was never an official Supreme Court decision, but it became part of the official record, and it's been used as precedent ever since. So that's why we're here. That's what we're up against. That's what we have to change. Thank you.